How does it feel to have Tom Hardy cast as the evil you?
The sad thing is that he won't be part of the MCU. He'll be part of some Sony universe. No, it's a very exciting time. It could be a really cool movie. I think Tom is a fantastic actor, and I really think he could play that character with a lot of energy and fear. You know.
Do you know anything about what's going on in that, or are you completely out of the loop?
I'm not involved in that at all. I actually... Oh, no, I can't say that. Whoops.
Well, those movies will all take place in the world that we are now creating for Peter Parker. I mean, there'll be adjuncts to it. They may be different locations, but it will still all be in the same world, and they will be connected to each other as well.
Oh, no, I can't say that. Whoops.
Because I know how important he is to you. And I know how important he is to the Marvel Universe. And I know how important this is for all of us here. So that's what we're doing.
We are Venom! We are Venom! We are Venom!
Hey everybody, so I've been getting a lot of requests to do a Spider-Man Venom video because it sounds like it's actually confirmed that Tom Holland will guest star from the way that people are talking about it. And I love that Tom Holland clip where way back when they were promoting Spider-Man Homecoming, people were asking him questions because they had just announced Tom Hardy as Venom. So naturally, because Peter Parker is such an important character for Venom, they wanted to get Peter Parker reacting to the news about who Venom was going to be. So it sounds like he went through Marvel media training and there's like a PR person from Marvel Studios standing off screen just pointing a sniper rifle at him like, just don't say anything at all about the Venom movie because we haven't figured everything out yet. So if you think it's weird that he does not waste a breath when he says, oh, absolutely not, Venom will not be in the MCU, I can't say anything about that, and then just pauses for a minute with a smile like, oh wait, no, I'm not allowed to say that, and chuckles like, oh, he just kind of gave something away. That little twinkle in his eye was probably something about a clause in his contract that would allow him to pop up in these Sony Spider-Verse movies in some fashion, but because I really don't think that they'd figured it out at the time, they just didn't want to say anything, so they didn't want to pin themselves into a corner. Well, like 6 months ago, you said that he was going to be Spider-Man in that, why would you change your mind now? And just make fans even madder than they already were. So what happened recently is that John Shepp from Collider Movie Talk was saying that he had spoken to someone associated with the Venom movie. Tom Holland was seen on set. He filmed a couple days. That was going to be it. So their movie set is set in San Francisco, so it's not like he's just going to be wandering around randomly because they're finishing up Infinity War and Avengers 4. So he's been busy filming that stuff for the past year. It's not like he has a ton of free time to just go hang around on other people's movie sets. So I'm sure you have all kinds of questions about, what that means for MCU Venom because Peter Parker is essentially connecting these two universes. Even though I think that Sony's Spider-Verse is going to coexist with the MCU the same way that Marvel's TV characters coexist with the movie characters. So think about it this way, Marvel TV is connected to the movies, but the movies don't ever reference what's going on the TV shows. The TV shows just sort of play off of what happens during the movies. Like the movies drive everything. So what will probably happen is that when they absolutely have to reference shared events, they will reference stuff that's happened in the MCU. Like there's Planet of the Symbiotes stuff happening. Alien invasion of symbiotes would be a pretty big deal. So Tony Stark, the Avengers, Black Panther, and Wakanda, they would all probably hear about something like that. So you can see some of the logistical challenges that they've faced. There's also the question of the origin of the symbiote, because we know Spider-Man is going to be in Avengers 4, be a pretty big character. He will be in outer space with the Guardians of the Galaxy. We've already seen footage of it. So they could use some sort of post-credit stinger to tease symbiote-related stuff and then just follow up with that with the Venom movie. Like they can do whatever they want to with Venom, just as long as there's a little bit of connective tissue. And that's where Tom Holland comes in. And because of Tom Holland's age, they are kind of pinned down to a certain time frame. Like you couldn't do old man Peter Parker unless you really spent a ton of money to age him up, which I don't think they're going to do. So it sounds like they're going to do a James Bond continuity thing whereby you acknowledge stuff that's been happening, but you're relatively loose with your continuity so that Sony can do its own thing with these movies. Kevin Feige can give them the advice when he needs to. Then Tom Holland can go back to MCU stuff. When it comes to Sinister Six and other characters crossing over, I think it's a case-by-case basis because Sony gives Marvel access to Spider-Man and what characters it needs in exchange for Marvel giving them access to Avengers-level characters for the main Spider-Man films. But that's it. Like, part of the deal for them sharing Spider-Man with Marvel was that they would have Iron Man pop up in the movie to prop up the box office, just in case people weren't totally down with Tom Holland, which they were. It ended up going fine. But the deal continues with the next Spider-Man movie, so they have access to another A-list Avenger. So if that works really well and they like that sharing arrangement, they might open the doors for more Marvel characters to cross over to Sony's Spider-Verse, if it's relevant to whatever story they're doing. But I think for the most part, functionally, if someone asks you if Venom is connected to the MCU, you can say that it's connected, but you can't really say it's inside the MCU. Like, they're not going to be acknowledging every little thing that happens. That does not even get into what's going on with the X-Men movies. Now, keep in mind that Disney's buying Fox. That does not give Sony in the Spider-Verse access to the Fox characters. But again, if Sony makes another deal with Marvel, like, hey, you have all these extra characters that you're not using right now, you're not making a ton of X-Men films, can we borrow some of them for our Spider-Verse? That's always possible, but I think the real question that everyone just wants to know is where does the symbiote come from, and how do you trace the lineage through Spider-Man if he's going to be in Avengers 4 in outer space? Would it not make sense for the symbiote to pop up somewhere, for them to tease it being alive and just latching onto his hand and then just cutting to black? You don't have to do a big scene where you explain him getting rid of it or anything like that. Whatever scenes that Tom Holland has been filming, you can provide some connective tissue to the Life Foundation, which is the organization in Marvel Comics that's responsible for creating the spawn of Venom's symbiotes that Venom then has to go after. But again, just a reminder that only Tom Holland was seen on the set, not Tom Holland wearing the Spider-Man costume. So when you hear people say that it's been confirmed that Spider-Man is appearing in the Venom movie, really it's only been implied that Tom Holland is going to appear as Peter Parker in the Venom movie. Remains to be seen if they put him in a costume. You don't absolutely have to, but if you're going to use Tom Holland, you do have to explain where the symbiote came from, if it's not going to come from Avengers 4 in some post-credits stinger, and you're going to have to find some way to invoke the comic book story. Small changes to the comics, totally okay, just as long as Peter Parker has some sort of implied prehistory with the symbiote before Eddie Brock gets it. Really good example of a small change is giving Eddie Brock more of an Agent Venom backstory as opposed to being a photographer just like Peter Parker. I think they want to make it a little more relevant, so he's an ex-military and gets drummed up into this experiment where he gets the Venom symbiote. Just have to link it to Peter Parker somehow, and I think that fans will be okay with some other minor changes. But let me know in the comments, Peter Parker in the Venom movie, how do you want them to invoke the symbiote? Like, how do you want them to explain where it came from and how Eddie Brock gets it? There is a whole bunch of other Marvel stuff that just dropped, so I'll try to get through that as fast as possible. New Flash episode tomorrow, and there's a new round of that Infinity Gauntlet giveaway. All you have to do to enter, just be a subscriber and leave a Spider-Man related comment on the video. Congratulations to the winner from that Black Panther video that I just posted, Oathkeeper. Please private message me so I can get your contact details. Click here for that badass new Black Panther video, and click here for that Venom teaser. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.